one ever sees me, I'm losing every battle. No one ever sees me, I'm losing every battle. No one ever sees me, I'm losing every battle. Can somebody save me, I'm losing every battle.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Brand Momentum Morning Show. I'm your host, Faith James, and this is your daily dose of vitamin I. We are reading this month from the book, What You Think of Me Is None of My Business, Terry Cole-Whittaker, and we're on chapter 5, Certainty of Purpose. So come on in, say hi, let me know where you are joining from, and I would love to hear how your weekend was. So share, as I always ask you, if you're so inclined, go ahead and share, tag a friend. Let's get this conversation going. Good morning, beautiful Jacqueline. Good morning, my love. Good morning, Khadijah. How are you, sunshine? So love that you're here. Good morning, Marion. And I just want to acknowledge all of you who have actually taken the coaching and gone on your wealth walks. These wealth walks are powerful. And I want to read something to you that was shared with me by Karen. Yes, absolutely. Good morning, beautiful Nicole. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Sharon. How are you? Wonderful, relaxing, perfect. Good morning, Karen, my love. So I'm going to read what you shared with me. And this is on the wealth walk. And that, it's so funny because I didn't have this information before Karen shared it with me, but it's so good. It's so perfect. So I'm going to read it. Karen, where's your, where did you send that to me? I just read it. Why won't I see it? Oh my gosh. Come on. Let me search. But yeah, you're going to love it. It was, give me 1 second. Okay. So this is from Karen. Karen said she was going to send it yesterday, but she forgot, but it's from the Daily Bread reading. As it turns out, our actions that day were deeply therapeutic. According to research from the University of Derby, people who stop to contemplate nature experience higher levels of happiness, lower levels of anxiety, and a greater desire to care for the earth. Walking through the forest isn't enough, though. You have to watch the clouds, listen to the birds. The key isn't being in nature, but noticing it. Could there be a spiritual reason for nature's benefits? Paul said that creation reveals God's power and nature, Romans 1:20. God told Job to look at the sea, sky and stars for evidence of his presence, Job 38-39. Jesus said that contemplating the birds of the air and the flowers of the field could reveal God's care and reduce anxiety, Matthew 6:25-30. In scripture, Noticing nature is a spiritual practice. Scientists wonder why nature affects us so positively. Maybe one reason is that by noticing nature, we catch a glimpse of the God who created it and who notices us. Isn't that beautiful? Good morning, Bonita. Good morning. Yeah, I found him, my love. Yeah, good morning, Stelita. Yes, Queen. Good morning. Good morning, Melody. Hey, beautiful. So, noticing, right? Not just going on a power walk and getting through it because you got to come back to your business, but noticing the leaves, noticing the blades of grass, noticing the palm fronds, noticing the birds of the air, just noticing and being one with that. It's so beautiful. So if you haven't yet gone on a wealth walk like Jacqueline and Stelita and who else, man, Marion, I encourage you to go on your wealth walk. And the wealth is, what is the wealth that you are desirous of? Money. Every leaf represents $1,000. And as you're walking, and all of the trees and the pine trees and the bushes and the rose, every petal, every leaf, every flower represents a single unit of whatever it is that you're desirous of. If you can visualize that, if you can see that and feel that, embody that, you know, you're looking for growth on your YouTube channel, go on your wealth walk. Every leaf, every blade of grass, every petal represents a subscriber. See it, feel it, embody it, visualize it. Beautiful. I love that. Noticing nature, being present in many magical moments with the people I love. So good to be present, not just rushing through, right? But being present, knowing the truth that it will all be okay. If you just declare all's going to be well with me, the email's going to be there, the phone calls that you need to return are going to be there. But carve out time to be one with nature and noticing. Go on your wealth walk. Love it. Thank you for that, Karen. I appreciate that. So chapter 5, certainty of purpose. To have inner peace, love, and power, you must be certain of yourself and your purpose. Certainty about yourself means certainty in your ability to create what you want in life. If you don't believe that, if you don't believe that you can actually create it, then that's where your work starts. Because until you have that piece of the formula, you're just going to be walking around the earth as a victim. When you're in victim, you have no power. Others have control over you. When you stand and say, I am 100% responsible for creating the life that I want, that I'm not just sitting on the sidelines waiting for it to come to me. I did a post that I've had, posted for a couple of weeks now, where it says, don't wait for your ship to come in, swim out and meet it. Be intentional, be in the knowing that you have the power to create the life that you want. It's all up to you. Nobody is coming to save you or rescue you. You get to do this for you. Good morning, beautiful Juliet. Thank you for joining, my love. Because you are basically a spiritual and complete being. You remember, God says we're created just below the angels. You already possess the natural capability to handle your life successfully. You're not a victim. You're not a wounded bird. You have everything you need to be successful. But you must be aware that you are in charge of your life and that you can create what you want to be, do, and have. Unfortunately, we are continually being deflected from our certainty of purpose. People can and do interfere and destroy our certainty, and in turn, create a sense of defeat and frustration if we allow it. For people may also support us in our goals and purpose. If you allow it, if you choose to be defeated, you will be defeated. If you allow Good Time Tina to come in and disturb your plans for what you had that you were intending today, and you give up your power to Good Time Tina to go hang out when you're supposed to be doing what it is that you said you were going to be doing, you've given up. You've given up your power, you've given up your authority over yourself, and you cannot create from that place. So you get to realize fully, I am in control of my life. I'm in control of my life. To understand how we are deflected from our certainty of purpose, we might think of people as energy directors. Each of us directs the energy within us by the act of choice. But to choose wisely, we must be informed and aware that our energy flows may be crossed or opposed by other energy flows. This is why it's powerful, important, key to be in a mastermind. Because when you're in a mastermind, you have, I'm going to say 100% certainty that the people who are coming together for that soul express purpose of being in a mastermind to create that third mind, right, are there for the same things that you're there for. So your energies are going to be in flow. They're going to be in unison. If you are not, and listen, a mastermind can just be two people. I have a mastermind every Saturday. It's just me and one other person. Because Jesus says, where two or more are gathered, there I will be also. If you're just out alone, wandering, circling the desert by yourself, you are leaving yourself open, subject to interference from other people who are not on your same path, who are not on your same walk. And it's no judgment. They're just on a different thing than you're on a different thing. And that's okay. They get to do their thing. You do your thing. As you look at the people, you know, think of each as an energy director. The way they think and feel determines the way they direct their energy. For them to be healthy, happy, loving, and self-expressive, they must be aware, conscious, and responsible for the way they direct that powerful energy towards others and themselves. Obviously, as our own energy directors, we have the same obligations, but we give other energy directors power over us, or other energy directors give us power over them. The consequence is that we spend much of our time and energy fighting and resisting other energy flows. And in the process, we are deflected from our certainty of purpose, if not from the purpose or the goal itself. I think of these energies as three basic flows: the helping flow, the crossing flow, the opposing flow. The irony is that you do not have to stop and fight or resist other energy flows to achieve your purpose and be who you are. You can expand your own larger purpose in life to allow others to go where they're going and get what they want, just as you go where you're going and get what you want. Not to know this is a disaster to us all. To know that you can do this is freedom. You're a powerful creator, and every desire has the potential for fulfillment. As an energy director, only you can help, cross, or oppose yourself in the attainment of your desires and purpose. Nobody has control over you. Nobody. And until you understand, believe, accept, embody that, you're going to be in victim. You're going to be giving your power away every single moment of every single day. And it's taking you further off the path of your purpose, of what God created you for in this life, to have this experience on this planet. We've got one life to live. What did I say a few weeks ago? Hashtag, there is no replay for your life. So if you make a decision, whether consciously and oftentimes unconsciously, you make a decision to get entangled with other people and their energies who are not on the same path plane that you're on, you have just given up your power. It is a choice. If you have ever caught yourself saying, oh, that person caused me to do, nope. You chose to do that. You chose to stay mad. You chose to be annoyed. You chose to be just bent up out of shape. You chose that. Because they did a thing, and then you have a choice in how you're going to respond to it. I gave you the example of someone who sent me a text with like an FU in it because of something that happened with one of the jewelry, because I do my Bling Your brand, and so that person hadn't received the shipment, and I said, well, we can look into filing a claim with the USPS, and I said I will look into that, and that person heard in their mind, they thought I was saying, you go do it. And it was this like text back, and I was just like, noticing that's interesting of a response. And I chose to understand that they were going through something that had zero to do with me. So I did not react. I responded and said, no, I said I would look into it. And then they came back with, oh, I was at work and I read it too fast. I'm so sorry. And then another text of, I'm going through all these things at work and we're doing it. And it was like, all of the reasons, the stories, the excuses. But I chose to respond instead of react, because the old me would have reacted. But I had the choice. I maintained my power. I didn't let that person take my power from me, because my intention for that day was to have a beautiful day, right? To be present, to rejoice in the day that the Lord made. And if I let that person take my power and pull me into a negative down spiral on text about how rude you are and how could you, and I would never speak to anybody, I would have given up my power. I would have given up my intention and my purpose for the day, but I'm in control of me. So I don't give up my power. Let me know, make sure this is landing, because there's a difference between reacting and responding. I think of these energies. Okay, we were at that part. Okay. To illustrate what I mean, I recall an incident on the beach near my home. As I walked along one morning, I stopped to watch a small child about 3 years old. He was totally involved in a project. He filled his sand bucket with wet sand and got to a level place and emptied the bucket, carefully keeping the sand in the shape of the bucket. Back and forth he went, engrossed in his activity, until his grandmother approached him and made some suggestions of her own. The child was angry and frustrated. He was thrown off purpose before he had completed his task. However, as soon as his grandmother returned to her beach umbrella, he doggedly began filling the bucket with wet sand and emptying it just as before. His anger disappeared, and clearly he was happy again, because he was once again pursuing his own purpose. Make sure you are on your purpose. Do not give your power over to anyone, even if it's somebody that you love, that you care for. Be mindful, is this thing taking me off of what it is that I know I get to do? You can become like that little child at the beach. Regardless of what was yesterday or how you have handled relationships or how they've handled you, you can rehabilitate your certainty of self, purpose, and goals. First, I want to share with you a personal experience in which I got off the track and lost my certainty. I'm a person who's usually happy, full of energy, supportive of others, and generally glad to be alive, and who enjoys the game of life to the fullest. As I subsequently look back over a period of 6 months, I'd been gradually losing my aliveness, satisfaction, and certainty. It was a gradual loss that I didn't notice until I was on the verge of mental and physical collapse. I use my body as my indicator to tell me what is going on in my mind. A change in my mind and attitudes, a change in the body. I was tired and had difficulty sleeping much of the time. I discovered a sort of roller coaster effect. I would be high, happy, and energetic 1 minute and then bone tired and despairing the next. There was turmoil in my job. There were people who appeared to be resisting me, and I had the feeling that I must push and shove to get me and my work going. I found days I didn't really want to go to work. I found the harder I tried, the worse I felt. I even thought perhaps I was in the wrong work and that the goals and purposes I had were no longer true for me. The clincher was the discovery that I wasn't having any fun in my life. Check in with you. Are you having fun? I had to acknowledge that somehow I was off the track, had lost my certainty of purpose, and that, for the sake of my very life, I had to get back on. Being in resistance to the flow of your natural self is hell. Being in the flow of the spiritual life is heaven, and I wanted to get back. For a week, I spent 2 or 3 hours each day writing out what appeared to be going on so that I could stand back and view my life. It wasn't easy at first. I was so confused that I found it hard to determine what I really wanted in my life. But I knew that if I persisted day after day, the truth would eventually surface. But even before I achieved clarity, I wrote out and said my affirmation. Everybody listen there. I accept and know that whatever I need to know, be conscious of, and have cleared up in my life for me to be certain and happy and on purpose is revealed to me now. God is my source and all good is mine. I'm going to read that again. I accept and know that whatever I need to know, be conscious of, and have cleared up in my life for me to be certain and happy and on purpose is revealed to me now. God is my source and all good is mine. God always says yes, but the creative force waits for us to speak our word. If you don't ask, you don't get. It is that simple. I've been saying to use your voice. Don't just think it, and it's great to journal it, and also speak it. Speak it. Good morning, beautiful Doris. Thank you for joining, my love. To speak it. I'm so happy and grateful now that I am happy, I'm free, I'm luxurious, I'm joy, I'm success. Say it out like loud, like you can hear me. Say it out loud so you can hear it, not just in your mind. Because again, from Genesis, it says, and God said. It didn't say God think, it didn't say God wrote, and God said, and it happened. So we know Jesus also says, you have not because you ask not. When we keep our mouth closed, when we have the desires of our heart, but we don't say it out, you don't have because you don't ask. Okay? If you don't ask, you don't get. It's that simple. Within a short time, things became clear to me. This clarity was triggered by a phone call from a friend who told me how, during therapeutic hypnosis, she learned that she had given up her natural, happy, and loving self to gain the approval of her family. She had, in essence, killed off a part of herself to get back love. I suddenly saw that I, too, had been gradually suppressing myself. I was trying to be what I thought my husband wanted, what my friends wanted, and what my congregation wanted. Ironically, all of this happened while I was receiving acclaim and prospering in my life. I discovered that deep within me, I had a belief that I could have only so much success and so much happiness. I thought I was at the limit. So I was sabotaging myself and my work through other people. I was doing whatever I could to get the approval of those who weren't approving. And I was killing myself. I didn't even see all those who absolutely loved and supported the real me. I only had eyes for rejection. And this is when I say you don't see with your eyes, you see through your eyes, you see with your mind. So you get to check in with your mind. What's your mental attitude? What's your state of being? Are you seeing things looking up? Everything's coming up roses? Are you an evidence hunter? Like we talk about, we train in the CEO boot camp that we're in right now to be an evidence hunter, not just looking for the big things to say, oh yeah, this shows me that things are great, that you are like a heat-seeking missile for evidence that things are going well for you, even the really, really small things. I was amazed because I thought I was beyond all that. Yet it brought home to me how profoundly we are intertwined with others and how our beliefs control our actions, thoughts, and conditions. Actually, no one had truly suppressed me or killed my fun, aliveness, or desire for life. I had done this. I was the one who turned my life over to others and said, here, you be responsible for my loving self and for my goal achievements, my prosperity, and all the rest. I had made people my source and set myself up for disaster. People are our avenue, not our source of good. With this renewed consciousness, I felt as though the weight of the world had been lifted off me. I was free once again, and this renewed consciousness was like a revelation, a gift. For my life and power expanded to greater levels of certainty than ever before. So, what are you hearing me say? What are you hearing Terry Cole-Whittaker say about your ways of being, about your ways of understanding that you are 100% responsible for you, for your happiness, your joy, your peace, your calm, your success, you. Yes. Everyday fun is a high priority. Thank you, Jacqueline, because if you are not having fun, so even forget about if you're not really even sure of the path, but if you can't source up a measure of fun in your life, that if somebody else doesn't come with the joy, somebody else doesn't bring the happiness, you're just at a place that's so low, that's a challenge. Good morning, beautiful Karen. And I loved, oh my gosh, guys, if you haven't seen Karen's wealth vlog, Karen has, I don't know, 20 horses. And so she's always out in nature anyway. But I just love when you came back and all the deer were there just like hanging out, just saying, hey, Karen, be on your wealth walk. Yes, we are the master of our peace. You do not give your control over to anyone. Period, done, end of story. You do not change yourself for anyone, for other people. If it doesn't make you happy, if it doesn't bring you a measure of joy, if you're feeling wrought up like you're just always in a state of agita, for all my people who speak Yiddish, I want you to share with me now, if you've been there in that space where you kind of curve and, you know, do backflips to please other people, that today you're hearing from this reading that you get to shift that you get to stand in your truth, right? I shared when Jim and the boys, well, it was Jim's idea. He was like, oh, we could do like a road trip and go see the Liberty Bell. And that was supposed to be like the main vacation. Not that I have anything against doing that sort of trip, but if it's like the one trip, this is like the one family trip and we're road tripping it. No, ma'am. No, sir. So I get to stand in my truth. I don't get to give power over to others for my happiness because I and I alone know what brings me joy. And you don't get to apologize for what brings you happiness. You like to go sit for hours in the library and read a good book. That brings you joy and happiness. Then so be it. Don't let somebody go, oh my gosh, it's so boring. You should be coming out, you know, we're going to hit South Beach. We're going to like do people watching. That's more fun. According to who? According to who? Thank you, Juliet, my love, for receiving that. Yeah, exactly. If it doesn't sing your soul, no time for that. Yes, we do not give our power away. Sharon says, been there and just coming out of that. What a relief each day. Absolutely. Because here's the thing, if they're going to be mad, they're going to just have to stay mad because you get to stand in your truth. No, I do not want to go apple picking. Doesn't mean anything's wrong with apple picking. Plenty of people love that. That is just not my truth. That is not my way of being fun. Right? I would rather go to the beach, lay out, and read a good book. That brings me happiness. That brings me joy. And so rather than be in tension with your friends or your loved one who's like, let them do what makes them happy, and then you do what makes you happy. You can't be in a constant state of compromising your entire life, right? If you're finding yourself, you're like, I never get to do what I want to do. I'm always doing what other people. There is no replay for your life. So you do that weeks and months at a time, and then you're just in drudgery and you're feeling heavy and there's no spark, there's no light. Because what? We're afraid to say, no, I don't want to do that because the people are going to be mad and they're going to mean mug us and not talk to us. Those are not your people anyhow. Let the truth be revealed. And you can woosah. Yeah. And you get to come out of that and be in your truth, Marion. There you go. Jacqueline's saying, I'd rather go ziplining. So Jacqueline and I are friends, and she's like, oh girl, I want to go ziplining. I'm like, yeah, I want to go to the beach and lay out. So if I'm not doing that, I'm not going to make Jacqueline mad. I'm not going to make Jacqueline wrong because she wants to go ziplining, and she doesn't get to make me wrong because I want to go to the beach, lay out, and read a book. Then we can say, okay, right. You go zipline. I'm going to go to the beach. Let's meet up at wherever we're going, and we're going to have our dinner. It gets to be both and. It doesn't have to be either or. You don't come ziplining with me, you're not my friend. You don't like me. You hate me. No, it's not that. Not your people. And if you have friends or family members who can't make space for that, to say, okay, you do that, we're going to do this, we'll meet up here. If that doesn't work for them, these are not your people anyhow. And you don't get to be made wrong because you're so clear on what brings you joy. It's so important to understand this. Oh, let's go shop. If you're not the shopping type person, walking Worth Avenue and walking down Fifth and going store to store and trying on 20 different, if that's not your jam, be okay to say, nope, not doing that. When I say yes and when I say no, I have the power to ruin it for the entire bunch. I should sell up. I would. Exactly. If you say yes when you really mean no, and then you just go with your negative energy and mess up the whole joint for everybody else, that's not a good thing either. Be okay to be in the power of your no. Give people the power of their no. Hey, we're going to go golfing today. You want to come? Nope. I'm going to just sit here and read. I'm just going to sit here and relax. I'm going to go get a massage. I haven't had a massage in forever. That's what I'm wanting to do. Do not give your power away because we have this ancestral DNA, right? So when we were our ancestors way back at the beginning of creation of time, right? Being in a tribe was about sustaining your life. Because if the tribe said, oh, we're hunting gazelles today, and you're like, you know what, I'm just going to get some berries. I'm not really feeling this whole gazelle hunt today. And they kick you out because that's what it would be. You're either with the tribe or you're not, and they kick you out. You're either going to starve to death or freeze to death or get eaten by a saber-toothed tiger. That's how it rolled. You had to stay in the tribe. You get to stay in community. Your existence, your life depended on it. We are now an evolved people. There are no saber-toothed tigers roaming the freeway. So if going on a bar hop is not your thing and you don't want to do that, but you're like, if I say no, they're going to judge me. So I'm just going to go anyway and drink, even when I'm not into this craft beer nonsense, but I'm just going to drink it just because. Nope. If you find yourself doing that, it's time for you to notice and check yourself and say, what brings me joy? Oftentimes we sometimes we don't even know. I'd be so amazed when I do work with my platinum clients and we get into the section of your passion and you get to make a list of 50 things that you're passionate about, things that you like. And after 10, then the list becomes hard. It's like, because we're not present to ourselves. So this is your assignment. What brings you joy? Make your joy list. So that when people are throwing out ideas, hey, what if we went rollerblading? What if we went this? What if we... Oftentimes you're saying yes to things that you don't want to say because you don't know what you like. You don't know what moves you because you haven't done this work. So you get to create your joy list, sit with it, ask yourself the question, what brings me joy? What do I love to do? Digging back in the archives, you may go, you know what? I used to love going to like the botanical gardens. Why haven't I gone to the botanical gardens in forever? You know what? On the joy list. I want to see what new variations of orchids and daffodils are out there, right? If you're like, oh my gosh, I love home and garden TV. So that's my thing. Going into a design showroom and seeing the new trend, seeing what's the new, if that's your, write it down, because in the heat of the moment, you don't remember that you love that because you're so trained. Your brain is so trained to just say yes to what the other people want that you have no time to focus on, you know what? I'm going to go to a gallery. I'm going to go down to West Palm. I'm going to go to a gallery, and then I'm going to go check out a couple of design centers in South Beach. That'll be fun. I'll meet you up for dinner. But you haven't done it in such a long time. You don't even remember that you love that. So this is you now causing your joy to come up, to bubble up, to well up to the surface, and put yourself in remembrance of the things that you actually love to do, the things that bring you joy. Who is doing their joy list? Hashtag joy list. Let me see it. Karen says, I've graduated from yes, no. Now I say no all the time. And listen, and it's not about being just in a no because you want to be contrarian, right? If it's a true no, it's a true no. No, I don't want to do that. No, don't want to go, what is that? RV, scouting. Nope. That there's power in just your power. Don't give away your power. Don't worry, because then we're worrying about being judged, right? Then we're bathing ourselves in the lather of shame. Oh my gosh, there's so much. I know I've said no so many times. I feel you get to rinse off now. You've lathered up long enough. You get to rinse off, woosah, and come back to the truth of you. Oh my God. Oh, was a bobcat? Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, you have to be careful, especially with your little rats. Okay, boom. Nicole is on the joy list. Yes, I love it. The joy list revamp. Yes, Doris, joy list. Be in remembrance of what brings you joy. Especially now, we've been so socially distant. We have been so cooped up. Yesterday, I played tennis with my husband and a couple that we met here in town. I haven't been on the tennis courts in such a long time. I totally forgot even how to get prepared. I went on the course and was like, holy Shalito, I don't have my wristband. So then it was like hot and sweaty, and then you can't like sweat out. Then my perspiration is like, coming down into my palm. So then my racket slip. You forget. You absolutely forget. Yes, get on that joy list, Melody. So we get to remember and even explore. Listen, there could be things on there that you even want to try to see if you love it, right? That's okay too. If somebody's inviting you to do something that you've never done and you're curious, that's okay. Check it out. I like to say I'm willing to do anything once. But if I know it is not my cup of tea, I'm not just going to keep saying yes because it's what you do. Do you, I do me, where we're meeting for lunch. Do you, do me, where we're meeting for dinner. Do you, do me, see you back at the house. I mean, who else is on the joy list? If you want joy in your life, you've got to know what brings you joy so that when all of the other things are coming at you, you have your list ready to say, no, actually, you know what? I want to go see, I think, what did my husband get for us? It's not a Matisse. It's maybe a Van Gogh. There's like a Van Gogh showing. It's in Miami. I think it's either July or later in the fall. So we both love Broadway shows, art. So he knows when he didn't even tell me about it. Oh, he just sent me like, we booked this because he knows what brings me joy. And here's the thing, guys. You get to open your mouth and say this. If you want joy in your gift giving, if you want joy in your events that are being planned for the people in your life, let them know. Open your mouth and speak. Let them know. So because he already knows it about me, he can confidently go book that, and I have no awareness of it. But he's like, oh, we've booked. I'm like, okay, great. If you don't say, I think, yeah, Karen, I think exactly. Absolutely. This is exactly what it is, right? He booked this for us. They cannot read your mind. Boom. They can't. They cannot. And so by taking our power back, this is what I want. So yesterday for Mother's Day, one of the gifts that I got from Jim and the boys was a spa day at the Woodlands in Naples, right? They know I'm all about that stuff. So there's no fear around, oh my gosh, I hope she's going to like this. It's not like, oh, you got, a ticket to the campgrounds. I'm sorry, what? They know. I let my people know. I let my men in my life know. They know. Do not even try me because that's going to be a hard no. And I'm so confident in my no's that it wouldn't even matter to me. It's like, nope, you can go gift that. You can sell that. So here's another example. This is perfect. He, for his birthday, so Jim's birthday is in August, and he booked a comedian that he showed me this comedian on, maybe it was on an HBO special, whatever. And I tried to sit there and I looked through it, and I was, after like 30 minutes, I was like, yeah, no, we're not feeling him. We're not doing anything. He's like, oh, but he's really funny. And he bought these tickets for his birthday. And I don't know, they were like, I think like 100 and some odd each. I said, no, sir. I said, if you want to go for your birthday to see him, maybe you can use it with a friend, but I'm not going to enjoy that. And at one point, I think I did say, well, okay, since it's for your birthday, if you really want that, and that's the only time I would really give, right? It's his day. I said, sure. I was kind of passive aggressive too. I said, sure, I can endure that. That's just like my passive aggressive way of like, that birthday night is not going to be fun for you. If I got to sit through this fool for an hour and a half, being just mad and sullen. So he's going to sell the tickets. We're going to do something else that he loves. It's his day, but that if you want me there, that I'm also a part of. I'm not giving up my power just because. So make sure you're tracking in with this. Who else is going to do their joy list? Exactly. Cut flowers. He's clued in. He gets it. Yes, Doris, they called my name when they said spa day. I'm like, yep, thank you. So that was beautiful. And my husband made me a veggie planter box because I'd been wanting to ever since I moved. I was like, oh my gosh, so much yard space that I can dig up the dirt and don't have to worry about anything, right? Because it's our house. So it's like, yes, I want it. So he planted some banana trees. And then I was like, but I want more. I'm like, there's so much space. I want a garden. I want this. I want that. So he was like, thinking I was saying like, dig up like all the planting beds and plant vegetables. But I just kind of held that to my heart. Like that was a desire. That was something I wanted. And next thing I know, like a couple of days ago, I said, I'm coming in with lumber. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm making you something. You're going to love it. And he told me, and I was just like giddy. So that was my Mother's Day gift that he gave me. Yes. Sharon is on the joy list. Khadijah is on the joy list. Yes. Everyone do the joy list. Oh my gosh, Karen, I would love to have an Eki tree in the yard. Yes. So this is the assignment. Do the joy list. Hey, Brenda Swanson. How are you, gorgeous? Do the joy list. What brings me joy? Make a list, right? If it's art, painting, if it's cooking, if it's flowers, make the list so big that you become back in remembrance of what you love to do, what brings you joy. That again, it doesn't have to be things that are exciting to other people. It's just that it works for you. Reading a good book, going on a walk. Like this is what I do. We talk about like quantum bending time. When I go on my walks, I have my Audible or my audio books. I'm always listening to something while I'm walking, right? So you make the time work for you. I know. Total brownie points for that. Okay, joy list coming up. Okay, great. That's the assignment. Do your joy list. Make it big and varied and wide. Oh, making 100. Listen, yes, 100 things that bring you joy. So you're back in remembrance of that, and you're not giving away your power by doing things that other people want you to do because you can't remember what you enjoy doing because you've been socially distanced for so long, right? Quiet walk on the beach, early morning sunrise, walking on the beach, going and doing yoga on the beach. I mean, dig into the list. It's a stream of consciousness. Let everything come up that's going to come up for you. Does this bring me joy? What brings me joy? Okay, yeah, right. Knitting. Who cares? Does it bring you joy? Wonderful. It goes on the list. So, yes, absolutely. It's so important because if you're not having fun in your life, and fun in your life doesn't mean that you're going on like some big, splashy, fabulous vacation. Of course, we love all of those. But it can be the small things. Scripture tells us never despise small beginnings. It could just be a small thing. It could be brewing your best tea and sitting out in your backyard. That brings you joy. Imagine you invite the person in your life to join you on that. Maybe that's a new experience for them that they'd be willing to try and say, you know what, that's actually really good, because we do need moments of just pausing. Perfect. Making the paper doll clothes. It doesn't matter, Jacqueline. Does that bring you joy? Wonderful. Put it on your list. Because when you're feeling like, oh, I'm stressed out, I'm in so much agita, get your list and say, what am I going to choose from today? How fun is that going to be? Go shopping from your own joy list. It's like, you know what? I'm going to go on my wealth walk. I'm going to go envision all the leaves, all the palm fronds, as an abundance of love. Just I'm overflowing with love. I'm overflowing with leads. I'm overflowing with clients. I'm overflowing with money. Whatever you want each leaf to represent, go on your wealth walk and do that. Make your joy list. That's your assignment. Make your joy list. And then you're going to pick one thing that maybe you haven't done in a while and go do that. So in the group, let me find it for those of you who may not be in. If you're not in the Savvy Branders Tribe, that's the name. Go search it, request access. And when you've done, so you can do a video, whatever you want to do, of after you've done the joy list, what is the one thing that you've selected from your joy list? And if you can show us when you're in it, great. If it's just you recalling that you did it, maybe it's not something that you can video, but then you're just telling us, yes, I did something from my joy list, and how are you feeling? How did it make you feel? Just kind of like speak into that a little bit. That would be wonderful. So that's your assignment. Go be fabulous. I am so grateful for all of you. Thank you all for the way that you continue to show up for yourself and be so intentional that this is must-see TV for you, that this is destination viewing, because until we get into the rigor of I'm doing something to amp up my vibrations, I'm doing something to keep myself always on a high playing field, that as and when the energy detractors who want to come and try to take you off, you are unmovable, you are unshakable, because you are staying practiced in, I get to do what brings me joy. I'm not giving away my power to you. You're not going to guilt me. Remember, we read about the two types of guilt, right? Where people are going to guilt you into things because that's their way of manipulating you. And because you're not strong in your leadership, you're not strong in your power, you give in, you give up your power. Nobody. So here from this morning, from my $1 Million Morning mastermind that I'm in, this is like a separate year-long program that I'm in. It's about, so listen, no one has the ability, not that they won't try, but they don't have the ability to do anything to you without your permission. When we think that they do, you have just put yourself in a self-imposed prison. I'm going to read that again. This is from mastermind I do with my millionaire mentor coach. Like, this is how the millionaire people think. This is what the work that they're doing. No one has the ability to do anything to you without your permission. Oh, she said, I was no good, and then I was, stupid, and you believe that, then you've just given permission for that to be your truth. The fact that the person says it here is nothing. The minute you open up this cavern, your mind, and you let it in, right? Now it's come in, you've just given permission for it to impact you. If they say this thing here and you're like, sorry, the door has closed, we're not taking in, we're not receiving any new information in from you today, thank you very much, they don't have the ability to impact you. They can't. When you open the door, the windows, the ceiling, the skylight, when you open anything and you let it in, now you've given them permission to impact you. Now it's up to you. It's not about the people. Oh, she made me so mad. No, ma'am. Nobody made you mad. You made yourself mad. They don't have the ability to do anything to you without your permission. So on Sunday, let me see if I have it. Do I have it? No, it's in the living room. So on Sundays now I'm doing, which is such a blessing, doing virtual Zoom book club reading with my mom, my sister, and my niece. It's a powerful thing. If you're not doing something like that, I highly encourage you to do that. We're reading the four agreements. And in the agreement, the first one, which is the most important one, which is being impeccable with your word, right? It talks about the idea that if you say any negative thing, it's like you're sinning against yourself. That's what technically it is. So we get to watch what we say about ourselves. We get to watch what we say about other people, because it talks about the power of the word. The power of the word. Your mouth, your tongue is powerful, right? It has creative power. It can create the life that you want. It can also create the life that you don't want, because you open your mouth and you said it. And it's as if once it's out there, you know, when they talk about like a heat-seeking missile, once it's locked onto the target, no matter where the target goes, the heat-seeking missile is just on it until it gets a target. So if your missile is like, I am wonderful, I'm awesome, I'm fabulous, I'm a multimillionaire, you keep saying that, it's going to find that target. If you keep saying, I can't do this, nothing works out for me, everybody is always against me, you keep saying that, that missile that you've just sent out into the universe is going to find its target no matter when or where or what. That's how powerful our word is. So when we say things, like I told you before, I had one client, I was asking her how she was doing, and she's like, oh, I think I bit off more than I can chew. And this was in Messenger, and I didn't even respond to any, I didn't even listen to any of what she was saying. I wrote her back. I just said, no, ma'am, you do not have permission to curse your life. Because I'm not joining in that conversation. Like I said to one of my other colleagues, when they were like in victim story and all the excuses, I said, oh my gosh, look what happened. I don't have my wallet and I don't have my Apple Pay. So I have nothing to buy these stories that you're trying to sell me. I don't come into agreement with the nonsense. It's just not what I do. I stand for people. I stand for you to see your truth and your power. I'm not going to play victim with you. I don't go down to that road. Off limits for me. Fourth, the four agreements talks about when we hook into things. We get hooked by our parents' ways of being. They hook us in as children. This is what you should think. This is what you should do. We're hooked in now that we're adults. We get to choose what we hook into. Oh my gosh, everybody here, they're just like such nasty people. You shouldn't do any business with them. If I'm not strong in my identity of who I am, then I'm going to hook into your story. And then all of a sudden now I'm hating these people, and then nothing to me, but because I hooked into you, because I'm not strong and solid in my own core, I'm hooking into all kinds of things. Be anchored in the word of the Lord. That's where you need to get hooked. That's where your hook goes. God says you're fearfully and wonderfully made. Oh, girl, you need to be a size 2. You know, they're not doing anything with people who are size 6. You need to lose. I'm hooked into God says I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. God wants me to be a size 2, and so it shall be, and so it shall be done. Until then, I'm going to keep loving myself and let God's will be done. That's who I'm hooked into. So if you're feeling like a weeble wobbly, you're like, right, get grounded, get hooked into what God says about you. The people come, they want to say, they want to infiltrate, they want to cause chaos in your life. Don't open the door. Close the window. Draw the shades. Close down, all of the air vents. Don't let it in. They have no ability until you give permission. Oh, that doesn't look good on you. You're right. Nothing looks good on me. I don't know. My body is you've just given them permission. You've just hooked into their wagon. Now off you go. You hook into, you know what? I am grateful for where I am. I'm alive. There are plenty of people who are living a life that not expressed the way that I'm grateful. I'm going to give joy for who I am, what I am, how I show up. I'm good. Thank you, though. Who are you hooking into? Who are you hooking into? Oh, thank you, beautiful Sharon. You are so welcome. You are so welcome. Good morning, Alicia Meredith. Wonderful to see you. Welcome to the Brand Momentum Morning Show. Listen, God is always on time. Always on time. Jacqueline says she's going to do this. Perfect. Yep. Warren can get on his joy list as well. Absolutely. Yes, it's so good. It's so good. It's such a powerful book. If you're not reading this with your children, with your nieces, with your nephews, do yourself that favor and get that book and read it with them, to them, and discuss it, because especially when you are impressionable as young children, they can get hooked into so many craziness. We get to anchor them in knowing the truth of who they are. You are grounded here. Don't let any crazy people with their ideas and their ways that have been impacted by others hook you into things that won't serve you. Absolutely. I love it, love it, love it. You are welcome to use it, Karen. Absolutely. Yeah, I have no money to buy these stories, these excuses, these reasons you're trying to sell me. Yeah, cock them out. Exactly. Don't let yourself be someone else's sad storyline. So good. Yes, 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 yes. And we have come to the hour. I love you guys so much. Go be awesome. Go create your joy list. Invite people into your life to do the same. No harm can come from creating a joy list. No one will be injured by doing a joy list. So once you've done it, go into Savvy Branders Tribe. If you can do it as a video, awesome. If you can just do a post and tell us what you've done, but do something today that's going to bring you joy. Love you guys so much. Take care. Be well. Bye-bye.